I'm Chris McKimmie. I write books, illustrate books and design books. With Teddy it was fairly straightforward because everything in the book is based on something he has done, something he's eaten up, somebody's shoe he's chewed or cake he's stolen. I did a big painting of him eating the chocolate cake that was going to be for Barbara's birthday. And I had already done a series of drawings of Teddy himself, which I collaged into different images as they sort of developed. It's not a question of what comes first, because it might be an image and it might be text, and it usually comes out in the way of me writing down pretty much what the image is going to be, which of course I then have to go back and figure out what the story is to go with that particular image. The way I work, I don't really think about what's going to come last or what the ending actually is. It usually emerges in the process of doing the book. So it sort of varies. With Teddy, the ending was actually staring at me on my computer because I had the very last image up on my desktop. And that's where I found Jackie's note to Carmen, which forms a critical part of the book towards the end. In Me, Teddy, there's a scene where he's at the near a restaurant, and there's a background which is like statues that go down the side of the restaurant. So I just had to draw one of those statues and copy it and place them in a long line around the restaurant. So they're all drawn separately and scanned in. Alex and the Watermelon Boat is about the floods in Brisbane. Because of the floods, there was water going through the book at the same level on the page, so you really couldn't just have blue or dark brown, and what I did was collage in all different bits of surfaces that I had made, so you had this sense of a really chaotic and fast-running body of water, but it actually wasn't like the colour of water at all. When kids are sort of quite small, they have a natural way of summing up form. They haven't yet got to, oh, that doesn't look good, or, you know, this arm looks too long or whatever. They just kind of draw, like if they're drawing a spider, for example, and they're scared of spiders, they draw being scared of the spider as part of the spider. And that is actually something that sticks in my mind when I'm drawing, because in Special Kev, I was drawing Kev throwing his mate's bike into the lake, and he had it above his head, and it was difficult trying to draw him holding a bike above his head. And I suddenly thought, well, if he's holding the bike above his head, what I should be drawing is the actual strain on his arms, not how long his arms are, or not whether it looks right, but the actual pressure on his arms. And so I drew that. The things that I use, so you've got 8B, 6B, 4B, but mainly 8B sharpened up because they're just really good pencils to use. Big boxes of acrylic paint, and I've got watercolours, gouache, charcoal, Conte crayons, pastels, and I've got about 8-10 jars full of brushes. I've cut them down at an angle so they give odd marks when I use them, and that's what I used also in Brian, was so that it wasn't too precious trying to get things right. I was just looking for the expression of what was going on in the image. So it's a whole stack of stuff really that I use. In recent books I've been adding in, and it's sort of come to its culmination in Teddy. Things like with Teddy there's chocolate mint sliced biscuit, there's hundreds and thousands, there's dog fur, there's all sorts of things really. Yeah. But yesterday when I was doing some drawings for the character of my next book, I was just using Japanese ink and The idea was just to see, you know, like if I could capture the character in a way that I've already done in another drawing. And in the process of doing that, like if you sort of dip a brush into water and say draw a circle, which is going to be the head, and then put ink in it, the ink just simply runs around the circle and you start to get all sorts of different things happening. So yeah, the different media does do several things, you know. It does serve a purpose.